The Berlin Wall was absolutely enormous. It goes up in that direction. Here's a mural. All sorts of murals to it. And remembrances. This was East Germany. That was West Germany. And they're all stories on placards talking about tunnels. Tunnel 57, which 57 people got through. Tunnel 64, which might have been 1964. The wall went up in 1961, and there are all sorts of pictures there of it. You see, it just goes on and on. This is a brilliant memorial. You can see through it. You can get through it now, but you couldn't then. As the sun is setting in Berlin, look at that. Those pictures. People running. In 1961, when the wall went up, there was a possibility of escaping before the wall was completely hemmed them in, and people did leave. You can see in front of you marks in the grass. So there was a wall and there was a border. So this, I believe, we're walking in the border section. So here was the tunnel here. Underneath, people managed to get through from East Germany this side, and they tunneled through into there. And here's another tunnel. They look like gravestones, and of course to a large extent they were. So there's the West. That was very much in evidence, East and West Germany, when I first came to Germany in 1986. We think of Roosevelt and Churchill as heroes, but they weren't. They gave away East Europe to Stalin in Yalta, 1945. Roosevelt, who was about to die, he died 2 months later. And Churchill, who was voted out of office a few months later. And Stalin just, he knew what he wanted, and he knew how to get it. Talking to 2 old men. And they thought, yeah, sure, I mean, he's a reasonable man, just because he's a mass murderer. I see a lot of parallels between Stalin, Roosevelt, Churchill, and the administration of the United States today. Well, and Britain. See, these are all tunnels. It's interesting, having a memorial to something horrific is very difficult, but I think they pulled it off here. And this is a rye garden. It's very, I'm wondering if that, what we see over there are actually remnants of the wall. Because there was the wall, and then there was the border area. So I'm not quite sure. This is nice. This is also in Coventry Cathedral. 2 people embracing. Let's see. my. That's a relic from a church, Reconciliation Church. Okay, this is all from an old church. And is that there? Don't know what that is. Doubt very much if that was part of the wall, but I don't know. I understand a lot of the wall was hacked off as souvenirs and sold on eBay. Okay, what does it tell you here? Nothing. 20-year. You're welcome. Oasis of tranquility. Maybe that was the wall. I thought it was a lot more solid than that. Like I know it was barbed wire, very high. It was built so people could not get through. So this is the Chapel of Reconciliation. So Berlin has memorials to Jews who were mass murdered, to East Germans who were held captive. I wonder what they will do for Palestinians when they realize that they have supported the mass murder of a nation since 1947. Okay, the sun is coming down. I'll walk over here. I don't think there's a problem with that. There's a lot of tour groups. And that's the M10. The M10 is about every 10 minutes, 5 minutes depending, and goes all the way from East Germany to West Germany. I don't know what this is. This looks like it's important. They look like tram tracks, but trams don't generally make right-angle turns. So something was, maybe a guardhouse. This has to have been part of it. There's more. Warschauer Strasse, 1961. '63, 1990, Warschauer Strasse. Okay, they're building a wall. Looks like a 10-year-old. I was 9 when they built the wall. 1963. The wall was there. 1990. Oh my gosh. Tower houses, everything. That was here. That maybe perhaps that's part of the wall there. Look at that watchtower. I'd say it very likely was. So this was the wall here. I don't know. Warschauer Strasse. Okay, there's a lot of people coming to look at the wall. And they're smarter than I am. They've got tour guides. So maybe after I've videoed this I can read what I've looked at. Oh, look at this. Pretty solid. So that was East Germany. These block-looking houses. Yeah, I'd say this was the wall. Oh my. This was it. Oh, the wall went on for a very long time. Well, of course, Berlin Wall Memorial right there. And here we have it. Gosh, it's high. And of course there was barbed wire on the top. There's the wall on the other side with graffiti all over it. When does a wall organize things? When do walls trap people? Okay, this looks like something important. Okay. Oh, we're inside the wall. More of it. Oh my. Continuing on. There's a cross. Because people were killed trying to go from East Germany to West Germany. That was why they didn't do it. 1,000 graves. Wow. Okay, so the wall was built over a graveyard and people killed by bombs in the Second World War. Well, if you're going to be cruel, you're not going to pay attention to things like sacred ground. And there we are, look, there's some graffiti there. And here, this is Sophian Parish. So people are arguing about how to remember the Berlin Wall. Now, why would that surprise me? Of course they did. How do you remember things that you don't want to remember? Some people want to just forget it happened and moved on. And other people, their lives have been so destroyed by such a traumatic event. Cemetery grounds. Ah. That's the problem.
Used a mirror to try to prevent the work being filmed.
And here we have blocks. Actually, this is really a beautiful space. So these are the blocks from the wall. Wow.
Oh yeah.
Complete with graffiti. Oh my. They've been saved here. whole lot of graffiti over there. Is that the original wall? Maybe it is. The thing about graffiti is that it could be 65 years old, and it might even be recent. '89 to 1990, Gartenstrasse. Okay. This is the street here. Clearly much changed. Tor. That means gate. We have plenty of tourists. So that's where I came from here. Quite a long walk. Oh, this is like being in a cathedral. Gartenstrasse, so that's what it looked like. Oh my, 89 to 90. Bleak. Wall on both sides. So this was the no man's land. And all the tour groups. It's great that people are still interested, but I really wish people would put their effort into stopping the genocide in Palestine. This ceasefire by Nazi Israel this week, well, hard to believe anything they say. They were well trained by Russians, by the most evil people in Europe. Oh yeah, it's Gartenstrasse now. Wow, all new buildings, all housing. There's a dog doing its business in the memorial.
Muro trasero. Hasta aquí llegaría. Luego llegaría.
Oh, here we have, here's a depiction of it. Oh, look at that.
Das Huhn auf mein Boot geflogen. Aber das Huhn. Ja.
So these are all the streets. Gartenstrasse right there. So the wall was not a straight line. It turned around. Okay. It'd be nice to have a simple drawing of the wall, because these all look like apartment buildings. There's the wall. Buildings in 1989. Okay. Interior wall, watchtowers, patrol board, exhibit areas. Oh, okay, so there's a sign, there's a signal. That round thing means patrol road. Straight interior walls, dot signal fence, guard road, lights, border wall. See if you can make sense of it. That's a church. I hope you learned something from this tour. October 15th, 2025 in Berlin. The Berlin Wall that separated East Germany from West. Actually, it was more than that. Berlin, East Berlin was an island. Sorry, West Berlin was an island surrounded by East Germany. So the wall, right, it wasn't a straight boundary. You couldn't drive into West Berlin. You had to be flown in.